Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Welcome to this edition of Military Makeover Operation Career. Today, we have 4 inspirational stories of former servicemen and women who have reinvented themselves and are thriving at companies who value their unique skills. Pepperdine University, a nationally ranked university, has been serving veterans and their families for over 75 years. As a Christian university, Pepperdine provides them with a transformational education, preparing them for civilian careers and enrich lives of purpose, service, and leadership.
I served in the Navy for 8 years as an aviation electrician. I worked on H-60 Romeo helicopters.
I served in the Army. I served for 3 years and 17 weeks. I was an airborne infantry, 11 Bravo. I served in Italy, Vicenza, Italy.
I enlisted in the Army in 2008, and I served from 2008 to 2015. I was an airborne ranger with the 75th Ranger Regiment, which is part of the United States Special Operations Command. I did 5 deployments overseas to Afghanistan and enjoyed my time in, and my initial enlistment ended. I was kind of ready to move on.
With expansive undergraduate programs and 4 graduate schools to choose from, the options for a new future are endless, and the nearly 500 veterans and dependents enrolled right now at Pepperdine comprise a diverse and supportive post-military community.
I looked up colleges that were beneficial for veterans, and Pepperdine popped up. I read their mission statement, which is servant leadership, and I really fell in love with that mission statement. I felt like God was calling me to be at Pepperdine, and I applied and got accepted and didn't look back.
The reason that I chose Pepperdine was for their Master's in Public Policy program. Had my bachelor's degree already, so I was looking for a graduate program that would fit me best. I had already come to Pepperdine, I believe in 2007. We actually played them in a tennis match when I was an undergrad. I remember looking at this campus and going, you know, people go to school here. It kind of looked like a resort. But the real reason I came and really targeted Pepperdine School of Public Policy is because to me it seemed like a very balanced curriculum where all viewpoints could be respected no matter where you were on the political spectrum.
One thing that I value about this community is how welcoming it is to not only veterans but their spouses and their children. The PepVet Council is here to connect veteran students from program to program, from campus to campus, to be a centralized touch point for veterans and their families to come to with questions.
Being a part of the PepVet Council here at Pepperdine has really been invaluable to my experience at Pepperdine. Pepperdine is a great university for veterans. They go out of their way to make you feel welcome and supported. Our Veterans Day event here at the President's House is an incredible experience where you really feel supported. But just kind of getting to interact with veterans and, you know, especially those conversations with veterans, especially some who might be struggling, or we're all kind of going through a lot of the same things.
Pepperdine is a school that believes in its veterans. They are as invested in your future as you are. And every person I've encountered, every professor I've had has shown that same commitment to my education.
I think it's definitely important for veterans who are looking to go to a school with a strong veteran community or a strong veteran support network. You know, before you know it, if you're a student veteran, you're going to be graduating and looking for a job. So those networking connections are invaluable, and a university really goes out of its way to try to make sure that your veterans get hired. I definitely think Pepperdine has prepared me for that next step. It has definitely taught me how to be a student again after not being in school for a very long time. I feel much more confident in myself being in an academic setting, and it doesn't feel as foreign to me as it did when I first arrived here.
Being a 27-year-old at the time, 28 now, coming into a private university was pretty lonesome at first, and after finding the veteran community, I felt very welcomed and I felt like I had a home and a voice.
In half a century, this big city mass transit agency has moved billions of people. From the driver's seat to jobs in marketing, sales, cybersecurity, and more, MARTA is hiring, and our veterans are keeping them on the move. Atlanta, here we come.
It's one of America's largest urban areas, and the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority, or MARTA, has this place covered.
Here at MARTA, we're not only committed to the patrons we serve, we're also committed to our employees.
U.S. military vet Christopher Jackson, one of 4,500 MARTA employees, a company where many on the front line during COVID-19 were called and remain heroes.
During the pandemic, our employees were actually heroes. Not only were they out passing out protective masks and hand sanitizer, they were out directing traffic. In my mind, that's the definition of a hero.
In the United States Air Force, my initial job was F-16, B-1, F-117 avionics. I did that for 4 years, and then I taught tech school for 7 years. Then I went into recruiting. So I am doing the same job that I did in the United States Air Force at MARTA. I love the job that I did, helping people into the right job at the right time.
General Manager CEO Collie Greenwood knows great job opportunities at MARTA, including those for vets, are plentiful and in demand.
My first introduction into transit was really as a college student, just trying to pay the bills and driving a bus. But what that taught me was about the nexus between the agency and the customer, and how much the customer really depends on the bus driver to get that bus there on time as promised. You know, since then I've transferred to various different transit agencies, but the salient point was always making sure that the agency meets the expectation of the customer in service of the customer's ability to chase their dreams and their freedoms. And if that sounds familiar to someone that's leaving the military, it's because it is. It's because we're a large, complex organization with logistics and operations, and it really allows people that have that skill set to translate that to operations in a transit environment.
Army vet Sonja Tillery Boone's military training helps keep MARTA a U.S. transportation leader.
My skills coming from the military allowed me to transition into MARTA because of being able to work with people. I love working with people, talking to people, helping them get where they have to go. So that was a great merger for me. During the COVID pandemic, we were called heroes. We were called heroes because our people got up every day, crunk up those buses, got them on the street so we could go and pick up our patrons. As a dispatcher, didn't miss a day to come in to greet our operators, to make sure they had everything they needed to get out on the roads and do what we do every day. That's MARTA.
While in the Navy, I was trained to be an effective communicator, and those are the same skills I try to transfer here at MARTA. I've been here at MARTA over 20 years now, and what's so special about MARTA is MARTA encourages veterans. MARTA looks at the entire picture, especially the way we're trained, the way we walk, and the way we carry ourselves, the leadership qualities that we've been taught. I also think that's what's special and unique is that MARTA fosters a team environment.
If you've got experience in civil, in construction, in operations and logistics and people leadership, then you've got a skill set that's highly valued here at MARTA. So it's the kind of environment that really lends itself to the skill set that a veteran would bring with them.
I saw a young man with an Army ring on, and I asked him, I said, hey, were you in the military? He said, yeah, I used to be in the Army. I said, so was I. I said, what are you doing now? He says, actually, I'm looking for work. I said, I tell you what, I'm going to give you my contact information. I'm at MARTA, and I love it. Coming from the Army, it's everything you'd be looking for. Call me.
I think MARTA is a great place to work because it gives a veteran the opportunity to continue to serve.
We are a team. We are a family. We are one.
It's a solid, dependable career. We're not shutting down. We're not shipping you out. You've got pay, benefits, pension, all the things that really allow you to build your life around a life with MARTA.
Anything you think you want to do is here, available to you at MARTA. All you got to do is come.
This veteran-owned transportation carrier offers opportunities to their fellow former servicemen and women. Their commitment to these team members and drivers is just one of the reasons they've been an industry leader since 1935.
My name is Brad Pinchuk. I was part of the U.S. Army, and I'm the proud owner and CEO of Hirschbach Motor Lines. I was an engineer officer during the first Gulf War. The first platoon I was assigned to had a lot of heavy earth-moving equipment, bulldozers, scrapers, and so forth. Unbeknownst to me, started my transportation career. Hirschbach has been delivering state-of-the-art transportation solutions while filling the highways with heroes. Our specialty is temperature controlled, primarily moving food products around the country. We've grown from having about 400 drivers today to having nearly 4,000 drivers over the last 10 years.
As a veteran-owned company, they know firsthand the commitment to the mission and pride in a job well done.
Hiring veterans is a mutual benefit for both them and for us, helping them transition into the civilian world, allowing them to utilize the skills that they've worked so hard for. Some of the values that we're looking for when hiring is aligns with our company core values. Safety is always first. We also look for fun. People want to have fun and have a great time. Transparent communication is something that's very important to us as well. And most importantly, we've got kind of two, the grit and our team players. These are some of the characteristics that people from the military has built into their DNA. Makes it an easy transition here to work at Hirschbach.
At our CDL program here at Hirschbach, we take care of our students. We take care of their room, their board. We pay them a weekly salary while they're here going through the training program. After they complete the program and they stay with us for a 9-month time period, we actually forgive their tuition as well.
Our CDL training program is set up for people to come in with no experience at all. We'll train them up. They're here for a few weeks, and then they go out with a trainer for about 3 to 4 more weeks, and then they get their full-fledged CDL license, Class A.
I joined the military really to find a sense of purpose out there for myself and what my future was going to bring. I was in for about 5 years dealing with all things shipping, receiving, weapons and ammunition storage, and anything that really involved around logistics. Some of the skills that really resonated with me from learning in the military to my present day job here at Hirschbach are things like leadership skills, development, decision making, problem solving, and teamwork.
My special training in the military was mostly in logistics, but also as a master houndsman, force protection, and all sorts of leadership responsibilities. Leadership and stress management were core values in the military. It was surprising to understand that those things that seep into my DNA as a veteran also seep into my civilian life. Veterans transitioning to civilian careers should always ask for civilian input. Having that understanding and perspective from a civilian side and understanding how to shave off some of those edges from the military really help you transition and become a partner with other civilians. I started at Hirschbach as a driver. I was a lease operator for 9 months, moved into the office as fuel and routing specialist, and from there I really get to grow with the company, and the company really encourages me to do that with them.
With an all-in-to-win mission, they offer the best-in-class yard management solutions, have one of the newest fleets, and support the veteran community with many different programs.
We do a yearly appreciation during Veterans Day where we send our drivers cards, we send our drivers t-shirts.
Another organization we proudly support is Wreaths Across America. Wreaths Across America has a mission to put a wreath on every veteran's gravesite across the country.
Sponsoring the Dubuque Fighting Saints hockey team during military night is a really cool way to be able to bring the veterans out in the community and appreciate them.
We also transport the wall that heals, and that's the portable Vietnam Veterans War Memorial.
Hirschbach is a great place for veterans to work just because of our close-knit, family-like culture and all the teamwork that goes on here. There's not a day that goes by that is the same as the other, and really just kind of motivates you to keep you going for the next.
Be part of a trucking company with a mission to support veteran drivers.
Pods, one of America's most innovative companies, changed the way we look at moving and storage. They're also paving the way for veterans transitioning back into civilian life, offering them a wide range of rewarding career opportunities.
There's so many capabilities within Pods, but at the end of the day, it really is about helping people in a very stressful time of their life make the move or solve the storage need that they have.
We can take care of folks in what is arguably one of the most stressful points of their life. It's right up there with marriage and divorce.
I'm working very personally with people to make sure that I can alleviate any kind of headache or stress or pain. I like to tell people that I'm like their moving therapist.
I'm Opal Perry. I'm the Chief Strategy and Digital Transformation Officer for PODS. I served for 6 years active duty in the U.S. Air Force, and when I left, I served as a captain. When I made the choice to join the military, and particularly the Air Force, I was really excited by the array of opportunities that the military offered. But also really important in all of that to me was the opportunity I saw to lead and to be part of a great team and aligned with a mission.
Just not really sure what I wanted to do with my life. Living in Arkansas, not a whole lot going on, so Army seemed like a great way to get out of there. My name is Anika Anderson-Hack. I'm a recruiter with PODS. I retired from the Army after 21 years of service at the rank of Sergeant First Class. When I got to basic training, I was the youngest person in my platoon, so they put me in charge. It was the scariest thing I had ever done in my life.
I enlisted right out of high school into the Navy, so it was something I pretty much always knew I wanted to do. My name is William Steinmetz, and I work in the Sales and Service Department for PODS. And I joined the Navy as a boatswain's mate. I served 4 years and came out as a E3.
At a very young age, the military can impress upon you a tremendous growth opportunity, and just also the role you can play, as it's both, everyone's role is very significant, and at the same time, you're just one part of this incredible team of people bringing it together to make sure we get the mission accomplished.
Boatswain's mates are actually the ones who helm the ship or drive the ship, which, you know, as a 18, 19, 20-year-old kid when I joined, to be in control of, you know, like almost a nuclear-powered ship with all that power behind it and cutting into 30, 40-foot waves in the middle of the ocean at 18, 19 years old is probably one of the most amazing feelings you could ever experience.
My job was to find doctors and nurses and healthcare professionals to take care of the people who keep our nation free and their families. There is no greater honor than that.
If we see something on surface contacts, or if we see something we don't know or can't identify a threat, we know what's at stake. It's people's lives.
Keeping the aircraft up in the air, helping them support the population there on the ground that had been really devastated by the invasion and the conflict. The sense of purpose to me is always so valuable.
I do remember the day I got out of the Army. My very last day, I was freaking out.
I remember the day that I got out of the Navy. There was this feeling of, what am I going to do? It was a very stressful time.
When I give advice to those that are making the transition from active duty military life into civilian, I really encourage them to ground themselves in thinking about the core skills they have that have been valuable in the military.
One of the first pieces of advice I would give is to make sure you get someone to review your resume. We have a lot of people out there with extraordinary skills that aren't able to put that on paper in a way that a civilian will understand.
PODS rolled out the red carpet for me from day one, from the beginning. As soon as they saw on my resume that I was prior service, I was blown away of the greeting and reception that I received.
Something that really drew me to PODS and the team here is we have a really strong sense of mission and of service to our customers.
I think if you were to ask about the military's core values and PODS core values and how they correlate, they're so intertwined. We care, we work as a team, and we find a way.
Visit careers.pods.com today to find a career that moves you.
Great to see that after sacrificing so much to their military service, today's veterans have found careers where they've been able to shine. I'm Montel Williams. Thanks so much for joining us in this episode of Military Makeover Operation Career. We'll see you next time.